G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, in that recent video I showed you where I used the H160, the HHO or hydrogen oxygen generator with this torch tip to try and dismantle, unbraze some copper pipe from a small fitting. I fully expected it would do it, I thought it would, but it just didn't have the guts. It wouldn't do it. It didn't have the British thermal units. Even though this, is able to cut through the bottom of a steel tin can quite easily, as I've shown in other videos. That's a very poor heat conductive surface, so the heat will stay there and it gets a chance to do its business. But when you're working on copper or brass, the heat dissipates extremely quickly and you're losing it faster than you can put it on. So that was the issue. So anyway, we put it down to experience, and I thought, okay, it just hasn't got the guts. It's asking too much for it, because it's really meant for jewellery, this thing. But I thought, maybe you can get a bit more out of it. Anyway, I got a lot of comments, as usual. I mean, all my videos get lots of comments, and I'm always pleased to get them. And there's always good comments from people who are genuinely interested and mostly informed. And a couple of them said, I think you need something different in the bubbler. Now, you can put whatever you like in the bubbler, and the flame temperature varies with what you put in there. And what I read, and once again, this is off the internet, it said just plain distilled water gives you the highest temperature. But anyway, a few people said, no, that's not what they did. That's not what they used. And one of the guys who seemed to know exactly what the problem was, Gildo Ouellette from Canada. I hope I say that right, Gildo. He was a jeweller, and he said, no, look, what they used to use in these sort of units was 75% alcohol and 25% acetone in here with a little bit of borax powder put in there as a flux. And he said that will give you a lot bigger flame. He said your flame's not long enough and it's the wrong colour. And the colour was a bit odd, and for sure. So anyway, I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So I've done exactly that. I've put it up to the mark here with that ratio, and I've tried it, and it's made a huge difference. A huge difference. So now I'll show you the sort of flame it puts out and the heat that it's capable of. Whether it's got enough BTHUs to do serious brazing is another matter, but it certainly is more powerful than it was. And I had managed to do 3 mil brazing with it on steel without too many issues, but when I went to 4 mil it struggled. So I'll try the torch out again and show you what it does now on some old stuff that I've dragged out the bin that I had played around with before. So let's do it. And this is manganese bronze brazed, 3 mil. You see things are getting pretty bloody hot and smoking. So it's got some serious heat there. And I think it's doing better than it was before, for sure. So there it comes apart. Alright, that worked well. Let's try it on this other bit that I had previously. This is 4 mil, and this I brazed together, but it didn't do a great job. So we'll try this one, see if we can unbraze it, see how it goes. Now this is the second from the largest tip. I found this tip in this little torch had the best performance. Let's see how it goes. Got it on a brick to insulate it. So this is manganese bronze. It's certainly melting it. So So it seems to be doing a lot better job, certainly better than previously. Look at that. I'll get something to... So that's looking good, isn't it? It's certainly better than it was. I'd say it's at least... Yeah, I'd say it's probably twice as good as it was originally. Look at that. That looks good. That's made a huge difference. So once again, you know, it's all a learning curve. Look at that. That bronze is flowing great. Also, it's not an oxidising flame anymore. The problem I had too originally was it was an oxidising flame. And of course you don't want oxidising when you're brazing because it won't bond because of the coating it puts on the metal. So look at that, guys. That is bloody good. I'm really pleased. Really pleased. So I'll have to do some more playing around with this. It's just a quick short video to show you that yeah, I've made progress on this, and it's all due to you guys and your comments. And yeah, from people who have actually used these sort of units and know what they're talking about. So it asks the question, can it actually braze some scrap carbide from my scrap carbide insert collection onto a small boring bar? And we're talking small, you know, we've got to keep the size in perspective, but can it do it? Well, this is some steel from a door shaft of some sort. It's not super hard stuff, but it will thermally, it will give you the idea of whether or not this would actually work. And if we take out an insert, it could theoretically put it on there, braze it on there and have a little boring bar. Will it work? Well, if we use silver solder, I think it would work, you know, but you'd have to get very high silver content, which is going to be hellish and expensive. And that's why, you know, I don't regard that as a good alternative, you know. Manganese bronze would just shit all over it, strength-wise, and it'd be so much cheaper, it's just not funny. But still, it will do the job. So will this do a manganese bronze braze job on this, and will it work? Let's try it and see. Get it to do that. Okay, I think we're done. I think it worked. We won't know till we try it. So here's the end result. I clean it up a bit on the grinder. It looks okay to me. It should work. I keep the base and then bronze down through the centre hole. Will it do the job? It's bronzed around the back edge as well. You could put as much bronze on it as you want, but I think that will work okay. So we'll stick it in the Chinese lathe and we'll see how it goes. Alright, I've got it in the tool post, the 4-way. I've got it shimmed dead on the centre line. So now we'll try it out in some scrap steel in the chuck. This is not the hardest steel in the world, but it's all I had in that size. So if you were to get the good hard stuff, you know, you could extend it out quite safely. But anyway, that amount of overhang shouldn't be an issue for this stuff, even though it was fairly cheesy. We'll give it a go. Okay, we'll fire it up on fine feed. Got some old steel. Give it a bit more, quite a bit more. That was pretty hard stuff. Right. That worked better. Just change a few facets around. Well, there you go. Can't deny that's a cheap bit of tooling. That's certainly a good little torch for this size work. You know, this is perfect for it. So if you've got small size lathe and you want to do bronze brazing like this with carbide scraps, yeah, you can do it for very small outlay and then basically cost nothing to run it. And you can see it does quite good work, you know, the finish turned out all right. You just have to play around with it a bit. So there you go, just shows what happens if you stick with it, explore all the angles and avenues, get some good advice from people who know what they're talking about, and don't believe everything you read on and see on the internet. I mean, yeah, research only goes so far. It comes down to practical experience, and that's the key ingredient. All right, well thanks for that anyway, guys. I'm glad to get the input, and I'm going to be using this little torch a bit more, I think. So I expect there'll probably be a stampede for H160s now after people see this video, because it certainly can punch above its weight and do stuff I doubted was possible. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Cheers.